Hello, everybody. Happy
Hello,
Thursday.
hello.
Hello, hello.
I see Margie here.
Hello, Miss
Welcome
Margie.
to our Thursday Mass Makes. And if you are watching on the replay, we welcome you as well. And we hope that someday soon you'll be able to join us on our live every Thursday from 2 to 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We do a Mass Make session where we make things that we want to have on hand that we can use in other projects and have at the ready to grab and go. So, hello, Margie. I see Margie is the first one here, the only one who said anything in there. So happy to see you. Hopefully, you've been having a good week. Today, we are going to decoupage napkins onto book pages, music pages, and plain paper. And in preparation for next week's mass make, what I have in front of me here that I'm showing you is just the second and third layers of some of the napkins. In fact, let me do this. Often, hi, Glennis.
Hey, Glennis.
Hello, Miss Glenna.
What the names up? I can do that. Often when why didn't you guys put your names in, or did you not?
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Where?
Okay. Why isn't it showing them then? That's weird. When you pull the top layer off the napkin, they're always either 2 or 3 ply. You end up with those white layers, and what can you do with them besides just using them for dinner napkins or for cleaning up? I like to stamp on them. This is one that I just stamped on, a nice gear stamp that I have with this orange blossom that Miss Glennis introduced me to because it was like rust, and I love it, Glennis. I absolutely love it. And so I stamped on that. And this now, instead of being a white second or third layer that's useless, this now is a new layer of stamp, or excuse me, a new layer of napkin. And I can decoupage this on. And this I would decoupage on something that I would then cut as tags. And it would be a great tag base to build on. So I have another one that I just started stamping here with the butterflies. Here's a little one. Here's one that I did with the vagabond, the Traveler News stamp from the Sir and Lady Vagabond. Let's see. Not even sure which way. It doesn't even matter which way it goes. Just decoupage on there. So, who else have we got that's come in there? Hi, Sada.
Sarita,
Hello,
Sylvia,
Sylvia.
Joni.
Welcome,
Christine.
welcome, Joni. Oh, nice. Hey, KK.
And
My eyes are out of focus. This doesn't
Yeah.
seem to be focusing very well. This is focusing pretty well, though.
yeah, you're a little blurry on my screen too, but
Am I?
again,
Okay.
that could be my eyes too. I'm telling you. So
Well, okay. So, first, what I thought while I'm single screen, I will take a quick second and just go over splitting the napkins just in case it's anybody's first time and wondering how to do it. Oh, hey, look at this dog one. Do you want one of these, Candy? That's kind of funny. Okay, so when you get your napkin, all napkins will be either 2 or 3 ply. And so I'll come over here to the corner, and sometimes they're, really dry and they separate real easily, and I can get them apart real easily. Sometimes they don't, like right there. So there's a couple of different ways that I will get them. Sometimes I can take a pin, and you can just stick the pin in right here. This is very, I'll make sure I'm in focus. Sorry, it's really hard to get my left hand in here because it's strapped to my body. This kind of works like a pin. You just like make a tiny hole in that layer, and then they'll start pulling apart like that. Sometimes with this sharp palette knife, I can get that right in the corner and split them apart. Whoop, there they are. So I'm just split there. Sometimes they'll split like that pretty easily with the palette knife. They split and then they went back together. Well, isn't that, there we go. Okay. At least one layer. Okay, so there's one layer that came off pretty easily. Whoopsie. Except over there where it tore. That's okay. That's okay. I'm going to stamp on that because when you stamp on it and decoupage it down, then the tear doesn't even matter. So as I do this and separate them, I'll just keep 2 little containers like this, and I put the white ones in here and then the top layer here. Except sometimes your second layer will give you a really decent impression, almost like a ghost print. Like here's a second layer of one, and that's a kind of a cool ghost print. And that I will decoupage onto something that I would then use as a tag. So that becomes the tag base. It's just, like a very light background to build on. There's sunflowers, and that's just the ghost print on the second one. So there's some black and white polka dots, cute. So if they have that and I can actually decoupage them as they are, I will put them in this container. If they are white and need to be stamped on, I will put them in this container. So let me set those over to the side. Hi, Cheryl. Good to see you. I don't know why these guys' names didn't come up here, but I've got Candy and Debbie Royer with me on panel. When you guys came in, did put your name in? Yeah. I do see it down there.
I just did a minute ago.
That is really weird. I don't know why it's not showing up.
Don't
know why.
Because we want to be anonymous today.
Yeah. Oh, I know why it's not showing up. Because I'm solo screen.
There we go.
There's Candy and Debbie. I'm going to go back to solo screen for a second. That was a real duh. Okay, there's another way to get them off pretty easily if you prefer not to have a pen in your hand or a sharp implement of some kind. And I'll just keep a little piece of tape with my napkins, or a little roll of tape with my napkins. And I'll use this tape, just come over to a corner and just stick it on. Oh, don't tear the whole thing. Wow, that really did. Usually just tears that second layer and just tears it, picks it up enough. Wow, that's just totally destroying it. Doesn't even matter though, because then I just pick up this. Oh, that's super thin. No wonder. That is really, really thin. And if I pull off this second layer and it's totally destroyed, I'm not going to save it for stamping on it. I'll just use it to clean up the mess around me as I'm making a mess with my glue, because I always do, I could see a good ghost print of sunflowers on that one. Might even just take some of the small the sections, the 4 sections. Might get 3 of them if a 4th one is all torn up. But my goal is to preserve the top layer, because that's the primary one with the design on it. And if this one gets torn up, well, then that's okay. And if it has a good ghost print and I can, salvage some of it, then that's fine too. So I'll put that over there. Let me grab another of a different kind and see if that works a little differently. Because typically, put your tape on and just pull it up a little bit. And look at that, it pulled that first layer up real easily. That one came off. Let's do that. And then you have to think, is there another layer or not? If I can't see through it really, really well, there probably is a second layer. And it still feels pretty thick, and most napkins aren't that thick. So there's probably another layer. So I'm just going to gently, there we go, gently pull it with the tape. And hopefully it's focusing. I can see that it pulled a little piece of that second layer off. And as soon as a little piece of the second layer is off, I can just go between them. And there you go, easily pull them apart. So there's several different ways that you can pull them apart. Sometimes you can just get your fingernail in the corner and do it that way. Now,
Hi,
there are lots of things. Go ahead.
I just said hi to Cheryl because she said hi, Candy and Debbie.
Cool. There are lots of things that you can do with napkins once they are decoupaged onto book pages, music pages, or paper. Today, we are doing them in preparation for next week's mass make, which is going to be mini envelopes. We're going to do 3 in a row that are going to take you all the way through, so you don't have to hang on to stuff and wonder, well, when are we going to do that? We're decoupaging the napkins today. Next Thursday, we are going to make mini napkins out of the mini envelopes out of the decoupage napkins, book pages, and music pages. And then the following Thursday, we are going to mass make mini envelope clusters 2 different ways. So in 3 weeks, you should have, even after you've used these, you should still have a stash of napkins that are decoupaged ready to go. And then you should have a stash of mini envelopes that you've made out of all 3 papers that you can use. And then you should have a stash of mini envelope clusters made 2 different ways ready to use. So in 3 weeks, you're going to have 3 things ready-made, ready to go, and 1 thing ready to make some things. So we really mean business with this mass make thing this year, and we're going to mass make a lot of stuff and try to help everybody be ready, totally ready. You can throw a book together, and if you've got all the stuff that you need to embellish it, decorate it, it's so much easier. So I have already stamped a few of these, like I did that one. I was just in the process of doing this one, and that's Lady Vagabond's books. Here's Lady Vagabond's luggage. Let me put a few more of these down and I'll try to finish this one up, and then I'll start decoupaging on regular napkins on the paper. So,
Marianne, you're pretty blurry.
oh, let me do this. I know I'm moving fast, and that's probably why. So I just need to slow it down a bit here. Slow your roll, right? Sylvia has a question, which reminds me, if you have a question, if you will please put 4 question marks and then type your question in all caps. That really helps it to stand out. 4 question marks and then type your question in all caps. It really helps it to stand out, so I will see it. And we also have a new feature where I can excuse me, where I can mark, like star them. You won't see that, but I can star them, so it creates a list for me. So if I see one come up but we're talking about something else, I can star it, so I can make sure that we go back and answer everyone over without having to search for them in chat. So Sylvia says, could someone remind me what we're using? Clear Mod Podge, clear gesso. Okay, you can use any of them. However, I don't like using gesso or any of those mediums on napkins only because they're more expensive, and I don't want to waste them on just decoupaging the napkin. So Mod Podge is always going to dry clear. I am actually using tacky glue. Let me show you what I've got here. I happened to pick up, I don't know where, Hobby Lobby or Michael's, probably a couple of years ago. I happened to pick up this huge thing of tacky glue, 64 ounces. 64 ounces of tacky glue. So I am using tacky glue, and I have put it in a bowl, glass bowl or a ceramic bowl. Don't put it in your plastic bowls. And I've added some water, and I think I'm going to add a little bit more water to stir it up, because you really can dilute that. It's way too thick by itself. But just a basic tacky glue, a Mod Podge, any of those, a PVA glue, anything. Really, honestly, I look for what's the cheapest thing that I have that will work in this situation. I wouldn't want to use any of my really expensive mediums or glues. So PVA, tacky glue, Mod Podge.
Why not a plastic bowl?
So I'm sorry?
Why not a plastic bowl?
Because it's much harder to get off the plastic.
Okay.
If I take it out while it's still wet, I can rinse it off real easily out of the glass. if it happens to sit here, if I use up most of it and then it sits here and it happens to, form a skin or get hard while I'm doing something else or cleaning up, I can just peel that off the plastic. I'm sorry, off the glass. If I have it in a plastic bowl, it doesn't peel off quite so nicely.
Okay.
And
I'll be back.
plastic is porous. Plastic is porous. I don't want anything porous to get any parts of glue in it.
And on paper, I use the glue stick with napkins, and it seems to work.
Glue stick, yes. Glue stick with napkins. And sometimes people put a glue stick to put the napkin down and then do some Mod Podge or a glue or whatever over the top just to kind of seal it in. And it kind of sort of depends on what you're going to use it for. Sometimes the glue sticks give up, after a while and they don't stick as long. But if you're going to use it for something where you're going to be using glue on it later, then that probably doesn't even matter because it will get its glue one way or the other. I used to use glue sticks on all the time, almost exclusively on my napkins, and they always worked really well. But about 3 months ago, I made a prototype of something that we're going to be doing in Patreon coming up, and I looked at it this morning, and I'm sorry, that wasn't glue stick, so that's a totally different thing. It was actually double stick tape, like score tape, and it was lifting up and pulling out, and that was really disappointing because now I had to try to get it back in there and use glue on it, but because I thought that double stick tape would be fine for that. So, okay. So something like this that I'm doing, this would be nice to decoupage on cardstock or manila folder and use to make bookmarks with all those books. That'd be really cute. Okay, let's see. Margie has a question. I see 4 question marks. If we are making envelopes from these, can we just use pretty paper that is already decorated? You can. You can. The idea when we make envelopes next week is I'll again ask everybody to bring book pages, music pages, and the napkins that you decoupaged. And you do not have to. You can use scrapbook paper that is already pretty printed. But for those people that have 100 napkins sitting there, because you got them at one of my sales, I always promise you I'll find a way I will work it in to show you how to use them. I don't want you to buy stuff that's just sitting there that's not getting used. So this is one of my favorite ways to use napkins. So that's why we're doing that. And I'll tell you what, when I give a mini napkin as part of a gift, even with a tiny card or something in it, I get more comments back on that mini napkin than anything. People just love them because mini napkins are cute. Is that upside down? Mini napkins are cute, but they're really always impressed with it. They can't tell if it's paper or fabric or, really what it is. They don't usually know it's a napkin unless they happen to recognize the napkin. So I'm just going to stamp a few of these so that this is used up. These are ones that I will take apart and use each stamp individually. Typically on these white ones, I just stamp big backgrounds. And so I can decoupage the whole napkin down and have a big background.
Hi, Toby.
Hello, Toby. Welcome.
I'm going to run downstairs and get a glass bowl.
Somebody had a chicken napkin that they saw. They love the chicken napkin.
This one?
Oh, yeah, that's a cute one. Oh, look at that one, Candy.
It's not a rooster, though.
You want a rooster? You want a... Okay.
Yeah, it's a rooster that we're doing.
All right.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, usually on things like that, they put roosters. I'm kind of surprised that is a hen. But she's a pretty one. Okay, so get a couple more on here. I'll move this one over and we'll start decoupaging. So I went to some of my books. We've got old book pages and we've got new book pages, because sometimes you just got a book because you want the cover, or you're making an altered book, and so you're pulling pages out here and there out of the book. And what do you do with those? Those may not be old pages. For decoupaging, I really prefer to use not the old papers. And the reason is because the old ones will sometimes break when you fold them into envelopes. But also, I don't want to waste those really beautiful old ones that we use in so many of the journal things. So I will use. Oh, Candy, can you take over? I've got to take this call from the doctor.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh, you're in trouble, ladies. I'm in charge. Ooh. You use the napkins in the kitchen. Yeah, they are pretty. I have to hide them from the kitchen. I can't leave them out there. I'd use them. Yeah, Cheryl, the first thing you want to do is either you're going to put your glue down on the paper or your glue stick or whatever, and then put your napkin over top of it. And if you're using a wet glue, you can put your wet glue over top of it, even on top of the glue stick if you want. Like sometimes I'll seal the edges with my wet glue, because I don't like putting all this glue on the whole paper because it buckles it. And I just put it on the edge. And that keeps it down. And I haven't had any of them come up. So. Well, these napkins are too pretty to wipe your hands with and mouth with, Margie. Oh, thanks, Toby. I love this one too. I have a lot of butterfly napkins. They're my favorite, I think. I think I got this one at Tuesday morning.
I went there yesterday and they were putting 2 packages into one for the price of one.
Oh,
In
really?
some of the packages.
I haven't been there in a while. I haven't been there in a while. Last time I went, they were pretty bare because of COVID, and I just haven't been back.
Right.
Okay. I made those.
They didn't hardly have any napkins last time I was in there, so I was like, well, shh. And that's mainly the reason I would go in there.
I brought all this stuff up here. Oh, here we go. So do you put the glue on top of the paper?
You can. I mean, I do the glue stick on top of the paper and then put the napkin down. And then if you want to seal your napkin, you got to put the glue on top of it too.
Okay, I've never done this before.
If you have Mod Podge, it gives it that, I don't know, Mod Podge gives it a paper refill.
I think I have Mod Podge.
I like Mod Podge. I don't have a problem with it getting sticky.
Mod Podge. I'm looking at my boxes just for a second here. Glue. Glitter glue. Diamond Mod Podge. Yes, I do.
The scrap cardstock, it depends. You don't want to use it too thick because remember you're going to fold it in the envelope, so you don't want it too thick.
Right. So this is just copy paper, and I did some digital downloads on copy paper.
Yeah, Sylvia asked if she could do cardstock, and I'm like, yeah, you can. It just can't be that real thick cardstock. And just remember, you're going to be folding it into envelopes.
So if I do Mod Podge, do I need to add water to it?
I don't, but some people do. You
Matter
do you. Isn't you do you.
You do you.
I like matte, but I mean that's just what I have.
I have both, so I haven't. The only time I've ever done anything with napkins was wax, so I haven't done this before.
Yeah.
So I'm totally lost. I'm totally.
Yeah,
Oh,
see,
cool.
I don't like Mod Podge on my paper because it makes it too wet. That's why I use the glue stick. And then if I need to, I'll put the Mod Podge on top. Or like this one, I just sealed the edges with my glue mix. Which is
Of course, I
which
can't
is a
get
little
this
bit of
open.
Tacky glue, a little bit of Elmer's glue, a little bit of water, and a little bit of Mod Podge, which is what was left on some stuff, and I mix it all together.
Well, I think this is Mod Podge closed. Okay, next.
Waiting for calls back from 2 doctors, and I said, you know, they were supposed to call yesterday afternoon. They had all yesterday, all today, and they're gonna call between 2 and 4.
Yep,
They're gonna call between 2 and 4.
You know it.
There was the first one, so we expect one more. Cheryl Goebel says, so the first thing is to glue the napkin onto the white paper. Okay, so the first thing is to separate the top of the napkin from the second and third layer. You've already done that, I assume, Cheryl, right? Then the next thing is to take whatever paper you're going to adhere it onto. And the only suggestion I will say when you look at book pages to glue it onto is to make sure that it isn't of a subject that you're going to have to be concerned about words that will show up if you make a cute little envelope and you give it to somebody and they open it up and inside the flap it's got words like murder and
Oh, awesome! That's my kind of envelope.
Yeah, blue back.
I cut out like 100 of them out of book pages, didn't even look at it because it was a book I had got from the Dollar Tree and gutted it. And then I grabbed them and started scoring them to fold them and looked at them all. And oh no, I couldn't use any of them. I had to throw the whole stack away.
Oh,
It was
I can
awful.
use it.
You can use scrap cardstock. Old book pages are okay. They just tend to be a little more brittle. You don't have you might want to pick up a new book or two at the thrift store that you can use the book pages from. An old a dictionary is great as well, although they are often quite thin pages. Cardstock. Okay, here's the thing. When I'm going to decoupage some of these onto some cardstock and onto some old manila folders. And the purpose of those will be to make like a postcard or a bookmark, not envelopes. Those are too thick to fold for envelopes, but there are a lot of other things you can do with napkins besides envelopes. So yes, you can decoupage it. Sylvia, you could even go on to regular copy paper. Regular copy paper. You do not have to have book page or music page. This is just to get in your stash a whole variety. So when we do the envelopes, you'll have book pages, music pages, and napkin envelopes. So you'll have a whole variety. But between now and next week, you could pick up a book at one of the thrift stores and have book pages ready to go to make envelopes. But yeah, use regular copy paper. That's perfect. Works really well. Okay. But I do some of them onto cardstock or folder, like I said. And those I will use as a postcard or as a bookmark. Let's see. I'm looking for my handy dandy little. Here we go. Okay.
Very funny, Margie.
Oh, you had a question and didn't preface it?
Yeah, I didn't put question mark.
That's funny.
I don't have a glue stick.
You don't have a what? A glue stick?
No, I don't have those in my house.
That's okay. I'm not using glue stick.
Do I?
I'm going to use tacky glue. What do you? And Candy's using glue stick. What are you using, Debbie?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know because I've never done this before.
Okay, so do you have some tacky glue?
I do, and I added water to it in a glass bowl, and I put a piece of cellophane on it. So if I don't use all of it, I have.
Perfect.
Okay, so do I put that down on the paper first?
So yeah, I put.
Okay.
Yeah, and you want to only put a little bit on the paper because you just don't
Okay.
want. That's why I water it down, because it's too thick and you just end up with a ton. So I'm going to take just a little bit on here, and just smear a little bit on there. I mean, these are very very thin, the napkins. So when I put it on top, it's going to go right through. So really don't need a whole lot on the bottom. And here's the other thing: if there's little pieces or parts or corners that aren't exactly down, don't even worry about it, because when you go to use it, you can make sure that those guys get down. Okay, so I'm going to do just one side of this at a time, even though I know it's going to go over across the center line there. I'm going to try to line it up with the edge as closely as I can. Just get a waste there.
Ew.
Because it might be about exactly the same size, which would be awesome. And with a tacky glue, it's not like our glitter glue that dries instantly. You can kind of pick it up and move it too. I try not to get a bunch of glue on my fingers, otherwise the napkin just sticks to my fingers and tears. But if it tears, doesn't matter. Just lay it down, put some glue on it, and decoupage it down. You never know there's a tear there. Okay, so when you lay it down, it's going to be all wrinkly and bubbly, and that's okay. Just get a little bit of glue. And the whole, I do think it's important not to have too much glue on your brush, because too much glue just turns it into a big gloppy mess. And kind of start from the center and go out, so that you can work out the bubbles and the. Now, you guys may not be able to see, but here's the center line of this folio of the 2 pages, and I didn't put any glue past that. There's napkin past that. So watch how when I go over that, it still decoupages it down, because it's so porous. The glue is going right through it to the paper. And so when that happens, then, whoops, I just brushed that a little too hard with this silicone brush that I haven't done this with before, that I thought I would try. I just brushed it too hard and tore the napkin. It's okay. I'm just going to brush it back. What that tells you is that you really don't have to put glue on the page before you put the napkin down. Did that make sense?
Oh, you don't?
Nope. I wanted to show you both ways here.
Okay.
But you can see by what I just did here that because the napkins are thin enough that you can just lay the napkin down, start putting the glue on top of it, and it goes right through it and actually covers both the underneath and the on the top. Now, some people want to get these really perfectly smooth. Other people like to leave the wrinkles or even purposely put the wrinkles in because they look cool, maybe. And maybe it depends on what you're going to do with it. Sometimes when they have wrinkles, I like to go over it with a little bit of vintage photo, and it gives those wrinkles a little bit of that vintage look that really does make them look old and wrinkly. And that's a pretty cool look. And you have to be careful holding it, like I'm trying to use a fingernail to hold the edge, because I touched on the gluey napkin and then I pull the napkin up. Let's see.
Talking food. Cinnamon rolls.
Food. Margie's on a roll. Cinnamon roll. Glynis, did you take care of that thought right there? Cinnamon roll. Yum. That sounds super good. Cecilia Johns. Glynis, take care of her.
I don't like that.
Thank you. Okay, so here's the other thing. Don't worry if you pull up a little bit on the edge or any of those things, because when you go to make your napkin or whatever your envelope or whatever you're making, we can cut the tiny little bit of the edge off, because the napkins aren't even going to use. I keep saying napkin and envelope interchangeably. The envelopes aren't even going to use the whole napkin because they're not going to be that big. You're going to get multiple envelopes out of this one napkin, and guaranteed we're not going to use every little tiny bit of it, because they're not going to be perfectly sized to have perfectly square little envelopes. So you can always cut these little edges off, and it's not going to affect it at all. And I always keep those scraps. Okay, so let me go single here for a second. Okay, so here's the first one that I did. I pulled out, oh guys, this is so difficult with one hand strapped to my body. Here, I pulled this out, this folio out of a book. That's where it was attached to the center and the signature. I put this one napkin on. It went across the center, but it doesn't take up the whole of the second page. Okay, so I can set this aside, and when it's dry, I can cut that off and then cover this with more, or I can just take maybe a smaller napkin or a piece of a smaller napkin and put that on, or even a strip of a larger one, doesn't matter, and put that on right now. In fact, I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to put this one right here. If I tear this, hopefully it'll tear right down the middle on that crease. I'll use half of it here and half of it on another one that ends up being the same. We are going to make mini envelopes of all sizes. So they are going to be from teeny tiny to maybe 3 or 4 inches at the most. 4 inches might even be too big, or bigger than what I'm thinking. So they're really going to be small envelopes, and they are so cute and they are so usable. Even if you're giving a gift, and just you can make a teeny tiny card to put in it, or in your journals, your albums. They're really good in those. So yeah, so even if however many you get done today, I would encourage you to keep decoupaging these over the weekend and get yourself a nice big stash of candy. I am really heavy-handed with the silicone brush today.
So you gotta get used to. Once you get used to them, they're awesome.
I love the way it feels and the way it moves. I'm just finding that I'm really heavy-handed.
And I found the little one, and I haven't used the big one like that, but the little one I like.
Little one's a little bit easier to go lighter.
For me it is, yeah.
Anyway, I'd encourage you to keep decoupaging over the weekend and get yourself a nice big stash of napkin-covered paper, because when we make the envelopes next week, then you want to have a huge stash of envelopes, because the following week we're going to use some of those to make envelope clusters, but you don't want to use them all up. You want to still have envelopes in your stash that are just envelopes, because you're going to want to use just envelopes. You don't always want a cluster. Sometimes you just want the envelopes. So you want to have some napkins that are decoupaged ready to go at any given time. And then you want to have some envelopes that are ready to go at a given time. And then you want to have the 2 types of envelope clusters that are ready to go at any given time. If you guys see a question too that I don't see, please just holler, because I'm trying to learn how to use this new silicone brush here, and I'm tearing the heck out of this napkin. But it's okay, because all you have to do is put some more glue on it and stick it down.
Hi, Tabitha.
And it works. Hey, Tabitha, how are you? Teeny tiny. Yes, we like teeny tiny envelopes. And so next week, next Thursday for Mass Makes. Now I got to move this over somewhere so it can dry. Next Thursday for Mass Makes, bring your decoupaged napkins, bring book pages, bring music pages, and you can even bring scrapbook paper. And here's where I'd suggest that you grab those scrapbook papers that you don't really care for. You can use them up making envelopes. They make cute little envelopes, because they're not, a huge piece of scrapbook paper that you don't like. They always make cute envelopes. And we'll use some of those up. So you notice that once we start something here, we're going to try to carry it through. So we get you started on doing the napkins decoupaged, not just going to leave you hanging with a whole stack of napkins that are decoupaged. So the very next week, we're going to take those and use those for something else. And the very next week, we're going to take those and use those for something else. So, and that will complete the end of that series. But there's another component in there, and that is somebody will ask, nobody's asked yet, but somebody always asks me, what else can you do with napkins besides make teeny tiny envelopes? Right? I'm just checking the comments here. Good to see all you guys. Yeah, so teeny tiny envelopes are great, but maybe you want something other than teeny tiny envelopes for with your napkins. What else can you do with them? Anybody else want to do anything else with them besides teeny tiny envelopes? Maybe not.
Use them on a cover, you put them on cardboard.
So, yeah, so we're not going to tell you those things today because today is just about getting them on the napkins ready for teeny tiny envelopes. But if you are interested in what else can I do with them besides teeny tiny envelopes, that is going to be Monday Jumpstart. Wouldn't you guys be surprised if I actually made some of these? Margie, yeah. I would. And I think it would be awesome. I think it would be very awesome. Monday's Jumpstart, this coming Monday, which is 12 to 2 Mountain Time, we are going to do what else can I do with napkins besides the teeny tiny envelopes. So if you've been at one of my sales and we had a really hot buy for a while there because I think I offered it twice, 2 months in a row, because I had so many napkins, and I still do have a ton. If you don't have napkins or have enough, just private message me. I'll give you a hot buy on napkins. But if you've got a whole bunch and you would like to know what else you could do with them, some cool ideas besides just decoupaging them like this and using them for teeny tiny envelopes, come on Monday to the Jumpstart, because that's what we're going to do on Monday. I'm looking forward to that too. Candy even came up with another way to use them today that wasn't on my list for Monday too. So that'd be very cool. There's lots of ways. Yeah, the one you asked me, will it work on this? Yeah, by all means. Yeah, well, I didn't have it on my list. What did I do? Oh, and I would also recommend that you keep baby wipes close at hand, because once you start getting some glue on your fingers from these, then every time you touch a napkin, the napkin just wants to stick to you, and then it just rips. So baby wipes are awesome. Good morning, Miss Messy Palette. Diana, how are you? Teeny tiny mouth wipers. Oh, yeah, I love making those teeny tiny envelopes. So it's this is the preparation is the messiest and most laborious part, even though decoupage and collage especially, can be very relaxing and fun to do. Diana, have you ever decoupaged napkins on paper, on book pages, music pages, things like that before? I know you're kind of new to Happy Paper People, so you might have already done it previously in your life. I'm getting glue all over my glass mat, which doesn't matter. I can wipe that up with a baby wipe. Okay, so Debbie, after I told you don't have to put glue underneath, it'll go right through. I just found a napkin that is not as porous, and it's not going through as easily as it did on the last one, or usually does.
Mine was a hot mess, so I'll put the glue down first. Yeah.
So yeah, this one is telling me that it needs glue down first because it just doesn't want to stick. Except to me. It does want to stick to me. Mama.
And that's where you can use the glue stick and then put your wet glue on top of it. Once
Yes.
You get down.
So
if you don't trust your glue stick.
That is a very good point. And I might just grab
have to buy some.
Yeah,
glue stick on your paper, stick the napkin down, and then do the wet glue over the top of it. Yeah, Diana has the day off, so she is fabulous. Cool. So you've done, this is old hat. But you're always open to new ways to use them. I love it. I love it. So next week, bring all of the napkins that you decoupaged this week, next Thursday, for the mass makes. Bring all the napkins you decoupaged today. Bring plain book pages. Bring plain music paper. And if you would like, bring some scrapbook paper and go through and find the scrapbook paper that you don't like, you're not going to use, that just keeps sitting there taking up space. That's the stuff we want to use up and get rid of right now. And with those, we're going to make teeny tiny envelopes of all sizes, like from 1 inch to probably 3.5 inches. Okay, I gotta find more places for this to dry. Here we go. So, yeah, and then Monday, on the Monday Jumpstart, for those who just came in, Monday Jumpstart, we will show a bunch of other ways to use napkins besides decoupaging them onto paper like this. Okay. So I do have a couple of pieces of cardstock right here. Sylvia was asking. And I'm actually going to put some onto this cardstock. Let's see if I can get it out from underneath the glue without... There we go. I might see if I have a glue stick up here that I can grab really quickly. Glue stick, glue stick. There's a glue stick right there. Okay. So I'm going to glue stick it to the paper, and then I'm going to do the wet glue over the top. And the one I want to put on this cardstock is the second or third layer of one. So the second and third layer come out white. And I just lay those down and stamp them with nice background images. So I stamp this in a rusty color with a Gears kind of steampunk background. And I'm going to put it on this cardstock because when it's dry, I'm going to cut it into tags. And then I have a rusty steampunk background already on the tag as a base when I start. And that's really awesome to do a bunch of those, because if you have, another really quick way to build your stash is to make a bunch of things that can be good card bases that already have the base like that. And then you just grab them and embellish them or build on them. That saves you. I mean, that's the most time consuming part, is doing this, getting the image onto the napkin, getting the napkin onto here, letting it dry. But just taking that, cutting it down and sticking the cards in your, in a shoebox ready to go. That's the easy part. Okay. Now I have something else very special that I want to tell you about. And this is really important, but I can't really tell you about it. Okay, so this is not intended to be a tease. It is really not intended to be a tease.
Yes, it is, ladies. Yes, it is.
It isn't. I am sworn to secrecy until the point that it is kicked off. And so what I want to tell you is there is something very, very, very cool coming that I know all of you who attend our lives regularly are going to want to participate in. And the payoff for that is very, very cool. One of the biggest payoffs we've ever had. Well, no, let me rephrase that. The biggest payoff we've ever had for one thing that we've done in other than like we've had a couple of grand prizes from things over a number of months and that were worth $50 to $100 or something, but this is the biggest payoff we've ever had for one thing that will be done within 1 month, just in the month of February. And I want to tell you about it, but I can't. I'm sworn to secrecy. So I want to, without telling you about it, because I'm not breaking any rules here, I want to drop hints to you of things that you can do that will help you. So as soon as it's announced, you'll be ready. Does that make sense? Who else is running out of space to drop those wood sheets? I'm into my dining room. Yep. Hopefully you don't have a cat or a dog running around, Sylvia, and you can just drop them all over the floor. Kitchen floor, dining room floor, the hall, as long as you leave a little space for you to walk.
That's why I like the glue stick too. It dries quickly.
It does dry quickly. Yeah, I just don't want it to come up. But if you're going to use it on something where you're going to use some glue later, and sometimes
you can always go back later and add the top.
Yes, that is true. And you could do that a few at a time. Except once I get out a bowl of glue, I want to do a ton of them and be done with them. I don't want to get out a bowl of glue every day.
I keep my glue in a glass.
Yeah.
Jar.
I guess this could probably stick into a glass jar, couldn't it? That's what I'll do when we're done, is I'll pour, and really, you don't want a thick glue on this, ladies. You want a thin glue that will spread over the top of this. And that's why this is tacky glue that I poured into this bowl, but I added water. I really watered it down. I want it to be able to spread easily and not completely destroy everything. Okay, now see how this comes over the edge on here? I'm just going to leave it for now until it dries. But when it's dry, I'm going to cut this off so that the edge is nice and clean. And I'm going to keep this because this is part of other things to do with napkins on Monday. This is perfect. Hey, Suze. Okay, so let's see. I've got this little space down here. I might be able to take the other half of that sunflower napkin that I put on the little space of the other one. Let's see. Yep, that'll go just fine right there. Okay, so did that make sense that I can't break the rules, but I want to drop clues or hints. I guess that's a good word, Margie. Clues or hints that will help you be prepared so as soon as it's announced, you're kind of ahead of the curve. Is anybody interested in that? Do you want to hear doing what we're doing today to be prepared for next week to make a bunch of teeny tiny envelopes is going to help you be prepared. And honestly, I just sat down and revamped the things that we're doing in the next couple weeks so that every one of the lives we do will be something that will help you be prepared for it. Because it's very cool. So you want a lot of teeny tiny, what?
I said, okay, Sylvia, I've run out of room to put this stuff.
Envelope.
Start going down the stairs or something, maybe.
Oh.
You need a clothesline in your craft room.
Yeah, watch the cat step in.
Take it in the bedroom and lock the cat out. Yeah, and you know what, though, you also pay attention to, you'll get to a certain point where the first one that you put down is dry enough that you can set another one on top of it. Maybe crisscross, especially if they're not perfectly flat. I mean, you don't want them to stick to each other, absolutely. But depending on the room you're in and if there's a fan and the temperature and all of that, they might dry, Okay, these are all going to be cut apart, so it doesn't even matter what I put together. I'm not collaging, I'm decoupaging. So all I want to do is get a backing on these napkins. Okay, I'm gonna run out of space too. I'll just put it on the top of anything. There we go. Okay, so who is decoupaging with us today? Glennis is, I think. Hi, Bonnie. Put it in the bathtub. Oh, good idea. You can hang it over the edge of the bathtub. You can lay them on the bottom of the bathtub. And don't even worry about how wrinkly they are, because they will press out. They will be just fine when we go to use them. Absolutely. Good to see you, Bonnie. Glennis says Elmer's is good for napkins. That's what I've got. Just not on purpose. It's just what was there, what I grabbed. I need a bigger piece. Let's see. Maybe I can do this. There we go. So who is put on a spare bed? Yes, my ears are open. Tell me, please. Tabitha. Okay, yeah. So making these napkins so that you can make a whole bunch of teeny tiny envelopes. And then the following Thursday, we'll make a whole bunch of envelope clusters in 2 different ways. So you have all those things in your stash. I can tell you this. Well, I told you everything that we're going to do on the Monday jump starts, on the Thursday mass makes, and on my Saturday night lives is going to help you in that. But Saturday, what is it? January 29th. Saturday night, January 29th. That is the night we will announce what it is that I'm alluding to, that I'm sworn to silence telling you so far. I'm trying to tell you without telling you, because I can't break a promise. But but I want you to be prepared to get a jump on everybody who didn't bother to come to these things. I'm pretty excited. I can't participate in it, and I'm pretty excited. I would jump on it. I would totally jump on it. I think it's going to be cool. And don't even bother asking admin, because they don't know either.
No, we don't know, ladies.
That's how sworn to silence I am. Admin doesn't know, because they will have the same opportunity as you to participate.
Yeah.
So they get no advantage. Absolutely no advantage. All right. Oh, okay. I have a question for you guys in chat. Who in chat has never made a journal or a book from scratch, including the cover? Margie's laughing at us. Dollar store glue left over from slime making. Nice. Tabitha separating napkins. Awesome. Hey, that's one of my favorite things to do while watching TV, is just take my bin of napkins and these 2 little containers, and just turn the little side lamp on that just goes over me, and just sit and separate napkins while watching a movie with the hubs. Who here has never made a journal start to finish, including the cover? Sometimes we use a book cover that's already made. And there are so many different ways to make covers. So I'm not specifying any way. I'm just saying who here has not made one, because a lot of people have told me they've never made a full journal. We've done lots of ephemera, lots of elements, even lots of pages and signatures, but they've never actually put a whole book together. So I'm wondering who has never made a full journal, including the cover.
Toby hasn't.
Okay. And I know Toby would like to. Anybody else? Me, myself, and I, Toby. Always miss Saturdays working at 4 a.m. Oh, that's tough. That is tough, Tabitha. But that's why they're on replay. Because whatever it is that's going on, or whatever's announced, or any of those things, you can watch it on replay the next day and get right in on it. We really try to not exclude anybody who can't be there right at that time, because of things like that, work, because of, important things like that. My dolls love to read. So, okay, so is Toby the only one? Then maybe the only one. So this Saturday night, we are going to show you how to make an easy journal cover. We're going to make 2 of them. We're going to make one out of paper and one out of fabric. We're not going to decorate them. We're not going to bind signatures in. We're just going to make the covers, because that's often what people tell me is the most intimidating part. So, but Saturday night we'll show how to make. So bring some paper that you would like a cover out of, paper that you really like, because you can at some point make a journal with it and, have already done a cover. Bring a piece of fabric. Now that could be a piece of upholstery fabric or curtain fabric if you have any of those, remnant books. It could be a piece of cotton fabric. Maybe there's a fabric you just really like. What am I missing?
Sylvia.
What's Sylvia doing?
Gasp! A virgin among us. Only one.
Yeah, Sylvia, she's in your state. What's up with that? I didn't think there was anybody in Washington that was a virgin with all of you guys up there. All you mighty crafters. I don't think there's any more place more densely populated.
I've never met Toby, and I know I've heard a lot about Sylvia, but I'm not sure Sylvia and I have met.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I assumed that you had.
No.
Okay.
We're kind of
Washington's
spread
a big
out.
state. I was going to say, Washington's a big state.
I know, except they have connections. They have common friends, common acquaintances, and I guess
it's nice to know your friends are common, Debbie.
Yeah, way to go, Marianne.
So no royal friends for you, huh?
Yep.
That's hilarious. Tabitha, you're not from Washington, are you? Tabitha has not made one either. Good. We're gonna show you how to do it easy. Once you get the basic
one from St. Helens.
Who's from St. Helens?
She's not on here today.
Once you get the basic, how do I make a basic journal cover down? You're gonna go, it's that easy. I really thought it was more difficult than that. And then you can take off and do all kinds of variations on it that you want. So Tabitha, we're going to do that Saturday night, and I know you won't be able to stay, but that you'll just want to make sure to watch it on Saturday, because again, it's going to be helpful to you, especially if you've never made one. It's going to be very helpful to you coming up really soon. Okay, Tabitha, where are you from? I know you've told us before, and it's escaping my brain at this moment. Okay, got to go find another place to put this. Let's see. The good idea, Candy. I like using the opaque matte. Oh, maps are another good thing to put napkins on if the map isn't too busy.
Bonnie and I went to an estate sale.
And
I bought like a
suitcase full of maps.
I'm not sure how big it was. Maybe like a 12-quart bin.
Wow.
Full of maps.
Wow.
So Bonnie and I, when the weather's a little better, are going to take them outside and put them on one of those blue plastic mat things, canvas cover things, whatever. And we're going to pour coffee on them and tea on them. Yeah, Matt. Thanks, Bonnie.
Nice. Nice.
Food coma. What did Gwen say yesterday? I have foggy brain after I eat.
Yeah. Gosh, learning young. That is so true. Okay, I've only done 4, but some of them were two pages, double paged. But my first one is already dry enough to set another one on top of it. The only thing I look at with the maps is to make sure that the map isn't so busy that it overshadows the napkin on the top of it. Tarp. A good idea. Okay, so let's see. Tarp.
So you can put a plane.
Indiana. Okay, Tabitha's in Indiana. Tabitha. We're in Indiana. Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana. I learned that when I was in first grade. It's a good song. I ate over 25 boxes of Cheez-Its just to have covers and spines. She can't even tolerate the smell of cheese now.
That's hilarious.
Oh, I don't blame you, Sylvia. So besides some paper and a piece of fabric that you really like for Saturday, you'll also want to bring something that will be the hard part of the spine, like Sylvia is talking about. And that could be cereal boxes, Cheez-Its boxes. Sylvia, you couldn't find anything other than Cheez-Its? I don't know, crackers of some sort?
Cracker
box.
My husband likes. I just buy whatever you like and say, here, eat this box.
You say, you eat it and I'll use it.
Yep.
Amazon does have chipboard.
Chipboard.
Yeah, Amazon sells chipboard.
Music band. Oh.
Just in case you can't do Cheez-Its.
Yeah, but
it's cheaper for Cheez-Its.
You should never
get more enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, any of those types of, okay, any of the, not the cardboard that has the big corrugate in it, although you can use that, but the cardboard boxes that all of our things come in, like you buy a new printer and it's in a cardboard box, or, you know, a new hair dryer, it's in a cardboard box, well, unless it's in a, you know, a shell.
Yeah, I hate those things.
Sylvia, no judgment, I committed. Whoa, no judgment here, Sylvia. Half of us are jealous because we didn't get to eat them with you.
Okay, can I, Bonnie? Can I show this picture? Bonnie Carroll.
Oh, what'd she do? Come on, she got to show us.
Bonnie, can Debbie show us? Yes, Debbie, go ahead. You're now full screen, Debbie. Old book covers. Yes, old book covers, packaging. Old file folders, and the file folders, sometimes you have to double them up or triple them up to make them thick enough, but yeah, they all work. Okay, Debbie, you're full screen.
Okay, just a second. I have to ask permission on this. She
I
started them young.
Oh, okay, I see. Yes, you do need to ask permission. Bonnie, is it okay if she shares that picture, which I'm sure is adorable? It's just adorable.
Can I show the picture of her? Bonnie?
She's ignoring you. She's ignoring you.
Fort Wayne.
Can I show the picture of her?
So Tabitha, fun random fact. When I was in high school,
I'm going to show it. I just wanted to ask permission because it's Gwen. Okay.
I knew that.
Love you, bye.
Here you go. Oh, you were on the phone with her.
I was on the phone with her because she didn't answer on.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, you are now full screen.
Okay. So this is Bonnie's granddaughter decoupaging, and she is.
Yeah, touch and it'll open. There you go. Look at that! How cute. She's 7.
And 7. Yep.
Oh.
So
she does all kinds of these things with Bonnie.
Yes. There's
It's
one
really
that they
blurry.
did.
It's really blurry.
It is?
Turn it at a little bit of an angle. There we go. There we go. Oh, nope, the other way. Flatten it out a little bit. Flatten it out. There you go. Okay, now give it a second.
Put a white piece of paper behind your phone. It might work too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
It's
pretty.
picking up the glare off the glass mat.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Now you're
That
getting
will
the
help.
glare
Yep.
off the light. Okay, just a second here. I
And
got to
then
do
you can-
another thing.
And then all you have to do is take your phone up closer to your camera, and that usually gets rid of that glare.
Okay.
Yep.
There you go.
There you
There we
Perfect.
go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very pretty.
Wow.
I like that one.
Yeah, she's a pretty talented little girl.
So, guys, Bonnie is a master quilter. But Bonnie was just introduced to paper crafts just like this past year, right, Debbie? Just this last year?
Yeah, maybe the last 5
And
or 6
and
months.
okay, yeah, it hasn't even been a year, but just in this last year, she was introduced to paper crafts, and you should see some of the stuff she does. It's like she asks Debbie, and Debbie shows her because Debbie's been doing it forever, and she does exactly as Debbie says, and it turns out amazing things. Then she turns around and shows Gwen how to do them, and now Gwen's turning out amazing things.
Here's the Klimt book she made me.
Oh, yes. Please show that. That's really cute.
Wait just a second. I need to make sure this is dry.
When she's talking about Bonnie, Bonnie back in chat. We're just totally embarrassing her all over.
Bonnie and I have known each other since we were 8. I was 8, she was 9.
I love that.
And my dad.
That's not forever, Marianne. You said they were forever. Debbie's been doing it forever. She's not that old.
I am.
Debbie, well, all right.
You're not older than the dinosaurs, dang it.
Well, there are days I feel like the dinosaur.
She's been doing it for, I don't know.
I've been doing
many years.
I've always been artistic. Yeah. And I turned 67.
Back to her 20s. I'm going to tell her stories now.
Yeah.
Nothing bad, Debbie. In her 20s, Debbie oil painted and water painted some amazing pictures.
The watercolors were the last couple years.
Okay, the oil paintings were from 20s that were amazing. Yeah. I just recently saw some of those and I'm blown away. Absolutely blown away.
So Bonnie coffee dyed this paper.
That's so cute.
And she put little tags in here.
It's like Bonnie's never even seen a junk journal or even know what any of that is, or even paper crafting in general until the last few months. And she watches everything you guys do and everything you post. She comes to all the stuff. And look what she made. This is gorgeous.
She added these little stars here, so those are sparkles.
That's so cute.
This tag here.
Love the use of all the fibers.
Yep. And then she glued on every single one of these little, let's see if you can see them. The little pearls.
Oh, wow. Look at all those. Wow.
Yeah, Bonnie gives all of her stuff away. Like her quilt and stuff.
Wow. Bonnie.
Okay, just a second. I'm missing something here. So I have one more. Where does this one go? Okay, so here's another a tag. So we got this at Hobby Lobby. This was cut off a piece of their lace. And she made these little tags. She did a stencil here. There's lace here. Here's another tag. Where did I pull that out of? Oh, right here.
I know it belongs in this book.
Isn't she talented?
She's very talented. And she has a good teacher. You're both very talented. Good work, Bonnie. Really
She's
good work.
She's barely older than me. Barely. She said, watch, I'm older than you. She's barely older than me.
Once you hit that age, it doesn't matter. You're all the same.
Just barely a year older.
Right?
Barely. Yeah.
Watch it, I'm older than you. So Bonnie's house would be exploding with goodies, except she gives them all away, apparently.
She gives all her clothes away. She does the most amazing quilting or embroidery, machine embroidery.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow, Bonnie. I would pay you to make something. I can't believe you give everything away. That kind of talent.
Yeah, it's amazing what she does.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. All right, here, Debbie. Let me get you off of full screen now. Before you have to go. You can take me off full screen.
Yeah, take me off that now.
Sometimes I forget. All right, Tabitha. Back to you. I was gonna have a connection to you in your city of Indianapolis. I have a connection there. Well, I dated a guy from Indianapolis, but that's not the connection.
Glenna sent you a photo you need to look at.
Okay, cool. Give me just a second. Finish this one. I'll pull that up. When I was in high school, I was a flag twirler, and flags marched with the marching band, and we had a state champion flag corps and a state champion marching band, and we got invited to go back to the Indy 500 and march in the Indy 500 parade. So I took a bus trip across 11 states. Boy, that was fun. It was actually a very fun trip. In high school, you don't care about that, right? And we marched in the Indy 500 parade.
Nice.
That was, so much fun. And they took a really cool aerial picture. And it just happened to be when we were in formation of a V, and I was the point of the V. And that's what they made a calendar of for the following year, which was pretty darn cool, which I still have somewhere in my box of, things you want to remember that you could once do when you could walk. Oh, all right. I almost got this down, and let me pull up Glynis's photo. Yeah. Okay. So I'll tell you what I remember. What's the first thing I remember when I think about Indianapolis? Well, that's true, Glynis. You don't have to use full sheets. But because I pulled out these great big book pages, so that I could use some full sheets, I'm trying to use the full sheets. So Tabitha, I remember when I got off the plane in Indianapolis, my hair and my clothes just went and sucked right up to me. The humidity was something I had never experienced before. It was so darn humid. My hair stuck to me, my clothes stuck to me. I'd take a shower.
Oh God, don't come here.
Huh?
Don't come here.
No, thank you. I know that I had never experienced humidity like that before. I have since, and I know that Louisiana is quite humid. I have no desire to live in that kind of humidity.
I was in Louisiana in May once.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I had no idea.
That's like summer. That's full blown summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That ain't spring. It was summer.
I love this one. Look at that with music behind
Let me
it.
see. Oh my gosh, how gorgeous.
I have that one right here, Glynis. I think it's in my pile to do right here today. I love this napkin. But can you see the music through it? It makes a really gorgeous napkin because you can see the music pictures or music paper behind it. So pretty. That's awesome. Awesome sauce, Glynis. There's another one that is really pretty. Okay, this is one that without decoupaging it, I have taken this one and cut parts and pieces out, like the little framed birds. And, well, see, this is a Monday thing. Cut out these framed birds, glue them down, and then when they're dry, covered them with glossy accents, turned it into a charm with a hole, punched a hole, put a like a bulb pin on it, and on the bulb pin put a little bird charm. So it was a charm with a charm. And then you got these great numbers right here and these mandala kind of Asian things. This is a really good one for using individually like that, not necessarily collaging. Let's see. I like this rooster guy.
Yep, he's pretty.
Yeah, you can easily just cut this into fours and put them on smaller pieces.
Oh, look at this one. I forgot I had this
That's
one.
pretty.
Oh, I love that one. Love that. How many do you have of that, Candy?
One.
Uh,
I think that came in your pack.
Yes,
that was just.
it did.
I only had like one of those.
Okay,
I love it.
So don't glue it down yet.
Oh, okay.
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 Only because it matches with something else, and I want you to see that before you decide how you want to use the napkin. What? You never make any sense, Marianne. Oh, here. Glennis, do you have this one?
Oh, that was about a pretty one.
Oh, I love that one too. I'm recognizing all your napkins and going, ooh, ah, ah. Glennis, do you have the flamingo one?
Oh, I do.
Pretty sure I sent Glennis the flamingo one. Pretty sure I did. Here's the one Glennis was just doing. I love this one. This is so pretty.
That one's really pretty.
In fact, I
I
think.
have that one.
Which one? The flamingo one?
No,
The rooster one?
The flower one.
This
I have
one.
the rooster one. That one.
Yeah.
I don't think I have that one.
You don't
If
think
I
you
do,
have-
it's buried. If I do, it's buried. So I might find it.
Yeah, this is really pretty. This is very watercolor, and I really like it.
Oh, look at the ghost print on that one. It almost looks like I'm using that one as a backing too.
Glennis ripped up her napkin first. I wanted to cover this whole page. There's going to be quite a bit left over, but look, let me show you guys here. So if I put this on this music page, I'm going to try to take it to the edge on two sides, and I'm going to have about 4 inches left over here and about 1 inch left over on the top. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to glue it down. I'm going to wait till it's dry, and then I'm going to cut this off, because there are a lot of other uses for both of these, and this one's even large enough to put on another piece of music paper and make tiniest of teeny tiny envelopes. Or I can put this one down, and then I can turn it over, and I can take another piece of music paper and put the glue on that, and then set it down right up next to this one. And so it's just done at the same time. Now, I will cut them down the seam between the two when I go to use it. I do not make an envelope out of two pieces with a break in between them. Does that make sense? I want it to be one solid piece of paper when I make the envelope. So when it's dry and I'm cutting them down, I will cut that down. And so I would end up using this separately anyway. So it doesn't really matter whether I put that piece on now or whether I let it dry and then cut the piece of napkin off. Ding dang, walla walla bing bang. Yeah. Oh boy. All right, let's see here. For those of you who have made journals before, who has made a boho journal? I have
Nope.
never made a boho journal.
I've made boho pages in the journal, but not a whole boho journal.
But never a boho journal. I've seen some that I like and some that I wasn't so crazy about, but I've never made one. So who's made a boho journal?
What makes it boho?
That's
Boho
a very
journal.
good. Well, boho style of journal.
Gypsy.
Yeah, it was a style,
Gypsy
kind of gypsy type, bright colors. We talked about, it must have been a Saturday Night Live where that word came up, and who was it that looked it up and sent me the actual definition of what boho is?
Last year, Michael's kind of did a whole decoration thing, and I called it boho. It was turquoise and red and orange and yellow.
Fuchsia, yeah, all the bright colors.
Yep.
Which is kind of, gypsies kind of dress that way, but bright colors, vibrant, very pretty. I had a couple paper packs that were called boho in the title of the paper pad, and I didn't know what made them boho because I didn't really know, but Glennis has not made one. Margie has not made one. Okay.
I have not.
All right.
But those aren't my colors, so.
Yeah.
Like I said, I can do a page, but I can't do a whole book that way. But my books, the journal that I did make all the way, most of the time I'm eclectic. So I got a little bit of everything in it.
A little bit of everything. So, Debbie, what are your colors?
I like the steampunky the rest, the patinas, the browns. I did do that graphic 45 cow journal or book, and that was kind of reds and yellows and farmy. And then I did the first book that Bonnie ever made. We did a Kathy Orta book, and I did it out of all digital downloads, and it was red poppies.
Hi. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love that one. The red and white and black a lot. Okay, so there's the style of steampunk, and then there's the colors in steampunk. The colors in steampunk could totally be used in gypsy. And I think that a lot of the style of steampunk can also be incorporated in gypsy because it's very industrial. I say gypsy, boho.
Glennis just said boho and grunge don't mix, so I guess I'm a little more grunge.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I totally agree with that. Although you can use the gears.
Margie said old hippies.
Oh,
yeah. Maybe.
So, and maybe I'm agreeing with Glennis that the grunge isn't boho, but the gears are. The industrial part of steampunk can be very boho, even though it doesn't have to be grungy. So a lot of times in steampunk, we have bronze and gold, and you can use the bronze colors and the patina colors with a lot of shiny gold accents, in boho. That's very boho. The turquoise, those things. I don't know. I might try to step out of my comfort zone and make one of these days.
Okay, we'll watch.
Hadn't really thought about it, but okay, you watch. But
yeah,
one of the things I have wanted to make, even though I've not done a boho journal, I have wanted to make boho beads.
I want to make boho beads.
Sylvia, can we use vellum? I have tons of scrap vellum. Sylvia, I have some sitting here too. I have honestly never decoupaged a napkin on vellum. I have some sitting here, and I thought I would try it today as well. So pull it out. Let's do it. Let's try it, Sylvia. I don't know. We don't know till we try. Yeah, I love boho beads. And that's something I've been wanting to do on a Saturday night, even though I don't do a boho journal, because the beads can be used in dangles and keychains and all kinds of fun stuff. Has anybody made a boho bead? Haven't made boho journals, but have you made boho beads?
I bought all the stuff to make some boho beads, but I haven't made one yet.
I made one.
Yeah. You want to show it? Are you showing it?
No.
You want to show it?
Not really.
No? Okay. You don't have
Every
to.
time I get my coffee, I watch some tutorials on making them, and they used a straw for the center. And so every time I get my coffee, I say my straws, and I bring them home, and then I when I'm out, and I bring home the straws and put them in the dishwasher. So I have a drawer full of straws to make boho beads.
Nice.
I have fabric, but
okay. Okay, so let me get to comments. Does anybody? No boho beads. Okay, has anybody else made boho beads? Let me rephrase that. Does anybody want to make boho beads? I do. Candy does. Debbie does. I know that. Glennis, do you want to make boho beads?
I do.
I'll tell you my thought about boho
I do.
beads. I just want to see if anybody wants to make them with me. Anybody want to make them with me? I'm going to try a couple of these that are the second layer that is kind of like a ghost print. I'm going to put that onto a colored vellum. Hi, Lucy. Come here. Come here, sweetie. It's okay. I don't know. Glennis, no. Glennis, you don't want to make boho beads? Oh, funny. I thought you would. So, okay. Well, let me start here. Here's my thought about boho beads. So I've told you that I think that a lot of times people complicate the exploding box, make it look really complicated. So then when they make it and it looks really cool, everybody goes, wow, that's so hard to do. And doesn't really have to be, and so we totally simplified it, and we made exploding boxes that were amazing and not so complicated. So I kind of feel like boho beads are the same, can be the same, but sometimes people complicate it so that they look really impressive, but I don't think they have to be that complicated to make. So I've been watching a lot of different people's things on them and thinking through how I would do them. And I believe I've found a way to simplify them, like the exploding boxes, so that they just don't have to be that difficult, and they don't have to take 100 different components and have all the parts and pieces of every jewelry thing and all of that stuff, because not everybody has that. I also think that you can use the concept of this simplified boho bead, and you can do it with, like, say, I would say to you, okay, to prepare to make boho beads, find some scraps of fabric and, bright, pretty scraps, colors that you like, because that's boho is, bright, kind of gypsy bright colors. But I would say that you could make the same style without having to have the bright boho gypsy colors, that you could actually do it with grunge colors, grunge type of fabric, and use it in any journal. It's like, if grunge is your thing, this feels like there's 2 layers there, and there is. Look at that. Didn't get the second layer off, and now the bottom one is stuck here. So I'm going to put it down anyway, and when it's dry, I will stamp on it, because no pulling it off now. Yeah, so I think that you can, if you find a good style that's easy to make and fairly simple, that why does it have to only be boho? I think by changing the ingredients that you're using on it, that you could totally turn it into any other style, like steampunk or grunge or whatever it is that you want to do. So you're talking about me then. Yeah, old hippies and boho beads. Diana, have you ever made a boho journal? I have not. We were just talking about boho. Have you made a boho journal, and or have you made boho beads? Okay, who put this on solo screen?
You did.
Boho is the absence of rules. It can be bright and colorful or neutral and textured. See? Thank you, Diane. Thank you. I agree. I totally agree with that. Oh, she's made lots of them. Sweet. Okay. So you've made lots of boho beads. Will you message me and maybe shoot me a couple of pictures of the boho beads that you've made, the type that you make? Because, guys, on the 29th, that's a week from this Saturday, Margie, OMG, I am boho. See, you didn't know. The absence of all rules. That's you, Margie. You are definitely boho. I love it. On the 29th, we are going to make boho beads, and I'm calling them boho beads so that, it's kind of sort of a style. But again, if you don't want to do boho, you can use neutrals, grunge, metals, whatever it is that will fit your style. But I believe that I've got a simplified way to make them that will be easy enough that everybody can learn and do, and you'll be able to whip them up for any book you want, and they make a very, very cool dangle.
Do you use the straws?
Yes. And you've got the plastic. Are they yours plastic or paper straws?
Mine are plastic because they came from Starbucks.
Okay. If you have plastic, use plastic. You might also have some paper in your stash somewhere. I don't know. If you're going to get straws, people, I would say get paper straws. The paper straws don't crack like the plastic ones do, and the paper straws that are intended to drink out of are really pretty darn thick. And I think that using this technique that they might actually work a little bit better. Okay, I'm going to do this the
I
opposite
saw
way.
Tracy Fox, and she made one out of twigs.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Little twigs. She had little twigs.
very cool.
Just saying, you can use anything, ladies.
Watchers, yeah. No, seriously, you can use anything. My vellum is just rolling up as soon as I put glue on it. So I'm turning my napkin over and laying the vellum down on it because it's not laying still long enough to get the napkin onto it. So I've got a piece of lavender or pink, I don't know, I guess it depends on the light. Lavender or pink vellum. Oh, Sylvia, this is going to be cool because when this is turned into a mini envelope and the inside of it is this colored vellum, that's going to look so awesome. And I got a big old wrinkle here that I don't want. Let's see if I can pull it up. Maybe with that glue stick, an inch more. Nice. Okay, let's see if I can get rid of that wrinkle. Very cool. I'm going to like this. That's going to make a really cool, interesting inside of the envelope. Collect your coffee stirs. They make great bead centers. There you go. Oops, we don't use plastic. Lucky I have some in my stash, those tiny black straw-like stirs. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so plastic straws, those little stirs, or
Old pens that don't work.
old pens that don't work, just straw, paper straws. And then you want to collect, for this technique, you're not going to need a whole lot of things. And as soon as I create the event, I will put in the description box exactly what you're going to want. But pieces of fabric, and here's where you can choose to make it any style that you want, honestly, by what fabric you choose. Whether you choose something that really looks Western or boho or, grungy, industrial, whatever it is, doesn't matter. But I would say if you want to try true boho beads, get bright colored fabric. Don't go buy any. You're looking for fabric scraps. Just pretty colors that you like, things that just pretty colors that you like. Because it's not going to be laid out. It's going to be wound around. So, and you will need a few beads, and they could be in matching colors. Maybe 2 per each boho bead, roughly, and then some seed beads. And seed beads are the little teeny tiny beads. Those are helpful too.
Wire.
And then you will need wire, and you'll need a thin wire that can go through the seed beads, and you'll need a little bit thicker wire that can go through the center of the bead and be the stability. And quite literally, that's all you need right there. Oh, it would be helpful to have some pliers, like maybe something like this, like some needle nose pliers would be helpful. That, or those are, yep, exactly. Needle nose pliers will be helpful, and that is quite literally all you need. Regarding vellum, I used water-damaged vellum, experienced curling on the edges only. However, the color truly complements the hue of the napkin. Isn't that awesome? Mine does too. And what's cool, look at this. I agree with you, Sylvia. So you can see, let me get that glue out of the way. You can see that the vellum wants to curl, and I'm not even going to worry about it because once it's dry, I can flatten it out. On this half, there's vellum, and on this half, there's nothing. I haven't put this half down on anything yet. And you can see that I used the lavender vellum underneath there, and this one you can see is white because there's nothing. It really does complement the hue of these flowers. This would have been cool underneath those flowers that Glennis did, and I already used that napkin. Very cool. I wonder if I try a different color under this side and see what would yellow look like underneath this side, because there's some yellow flowers over there. Ooh, what do you think? Can you
That's
see?
pretty.
Can you see the yellow hue on there? Wow. I can totally see the yellow in this white. I'm going to try that. That looks like it might be really cool. All right. This is not the easiest thing to do because the vellum just keeps wanting to curl. But I'm going to put us back here and see if I can. What I'm going to try to do is put the glue straight onto the vellum and turn the vellum over onto the napkin so I can butt the two pieces of vellum right up next to each other and not waste any napkin.
Sylvia, do you want me to show this picture that you sent?
Got it? Oh, awesome. Yeah. Hang on a sec. I'll make you full screen.
Well, wait till I'm going to make sure she lets me see.
Yeah.
Lets me show it.
Yes. Uh-oh. That's gluey on the bottom.
That's great, Sylvia.
And Sylvia is our newest Patreon member. I am so excited.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I know I was like down, not down and out. I was down in a hospital bed when Sylvia joined, so I didn't even get to talk to her that first day, which I usually do, and I love doing. So very excited about that.
Sylvia, can we show the photo?
Sylvia, Candy is waiting for
I
permission.
don't want to show it if you don't want me to.
It's totally up to you. I think she'd be okay with it, but I think you're right to get her permission. Oh, Diana, that's true. These decoupage pieces would make great boho beads too. Once you decoupage them down, they gain strength similar to fabric, not completely, but you don't have to pull them so hard that they're going to tear. They would be very pretty. Good idea. Yay, welcome to the crew, Sylvia. Welcome to Patreon. Yay, very excited. Patreon is really fun. We do a couple of special events each month. They sometimes get to vote on things that we're doing. They make decisions for the rest of you. They get sneak peeks and get told ahead of time some things that are going on. Some of the perks of being in Patreon. It's a super fun group. Oh, that's going to be so pretty when that dries.
Okay, now what were you going to say about this napkin?
She's ready to rock and roll with that.
Are you?
I am.
Okay, so
Sylvia's ignoring us.
No, Debbie, really. Debbie, you know the paper that I'm talking about, that this
13
napkin,
art.
Can you see it?
Yes. Is that 13 art?
Those singles.
Yes.
So would she want to decoupage that on music, on book, or on plain to do something with that? Probably any of them. I don't think it would matter. Yeah.
I might do it on plain.
Decoupage and don't cut it up. That's all I'll say, Candy. Just because there's some paper coming in
okay.
Candy hasn't gotten her order yet. They always get done last. And so there's some paper coming in there that matches that amazingly well. And so I think when you look at it, you'd want to use it with it. That's all I'm saying.
All right, I'll save it. I got this pretty vellum here.
I really like that on vellum. And the vellum, Diana, the vellum would be amazing to use for the boho beads because the vellum is very strong with the napkin on the top of it. And you don't need very much, like scraps of fabric. You're talking about, they could be an inch wide. They could be maybe up to 2 inches wide.
Who wants to know if she gets a t-shirt?
Who wants to know if they get a t-shirt?
Sylvia, for joining Patreon.
We need some merch.
Oh no, ladies.
Okay.
Candy's going on. Now I gotta
candy.
We're gonna design some merch. Actually had the thoughts of that for the retreat, but Maybe we need some Patreon merch. You guys are just too much fun. No, there's not such a thing as too much fun. I got to get the glue off of this thing so my napkins don't just stick to it before I move forward.
Wrong color.
Margie says we give out granny panties.
No, we did not granny panties.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, Margie. That was so funny. But you know what? Granny panties have lots of room to move in them, and we move and we have fun. Oh, Margie, that was good. You made me joke. All right. I got the old one over here. I could use to dry that up. I need to rock and roll and get some more of these done. My goodness, we only have 15 minutes left, and I don't have nearly enough of these done. So I know you guys don't either. So keep doing them, whether now or over the weekend, or keep doing them. So you get you a good stack of them because you're going to want them. And then remember, next Thursday, bring your decoupage napkins, book pages, music pages, and if you want some scrapbook paper, go through and find the ones that you don't like, that you're not going to use, that have just been sitting there, not because you're hoarding them, but because you don't like them. Oh, Margie. TMI, Margie. Bumper stickers, Sylvia says. Yeah. That's funny. Ooh, I'll bet that rooster would be pretty on the yellow one. What do you think?
Yeah, it's pretty.
It's very orange behind. Maybe it'll tone the orange down a little bit. Debbie, every time you rip your napkins apart, it's like nails on a chalkboard. Really? Ooh. I mean, I hear it, but it's just like this little noise. But we never know how it comes across. It's different when you're listening to it through the internet, not just kind of through the microphone, which is what I'm hearing. No big deal. But oh, that's gorgeous, Candy. Gorgeous. The black and red.
Yep.
That will go really pretty with that. What's that 13 Arts one you got?
I'm not holding another one.
You what?
I'm not putting another one aside.
No, you already, that one you got at the last sale. What's it called? That 13 Arts paper pad.
Oh, that Victoriana.
Victoriana or Unforgettable, one of those. That would be really pretty with, that'd be really pretty with those. Oops, we lost Debbie for a second.
Yeah, it kicked me out.
Well, how rude.
What's up with that?
Oh, Glennis is like, finally, somebody
didn't like your language.
What?
It didn't like your language, young lady.
Oh, I've been pretty good today.
That's why it doesn't know what to do.
It's like something is off here.
There hasn't been an oh crap.
No swearing.
I've been pretty good.
You have. I'm just saying. That's what.
You've been very good. Okay, let's see. Sylvia says, "Are you kidding? My dining room table, kitchen counter, craft room, all dropped with assorted sheets. This is great. We'll have to eat out. Cannot use." I love it. Well, I don't want you to stop now, but Sylvia, when you're done, count, see how many you actually did. I know that a lot of mine were double size, so I don't know if that counts as two, but I just don't feel like I've done that many. Maybe because they were double-sided or double sized, so they took longer. I don't feel like I've done that many, but I'm just gonna keep working here. I'm just gonna keep working because my stash of napkin covered paper is down to maybe 2 half a sheets left. So this was perfect timing. Perfect timing for me to rebuild that stash. But then my stash of teeny tiny napkins or envelopes is down to like maybe 5 or 6 left. So I really need to rebuild that too. So I need lots of these. Ooh, and they don't tear so easily on vellum.
No, they don't. And it rolls.
Yeah, Margie said it doesn't like your, no, they don't, yeah, it does roll. If I can just keep it out enough to dry. Once it's dry, we can flatten it, no problem. But yeah, it just wants to roll up as soon as it gets wet. Debbie, Margie said maybe the computer didn't like the paper sounds. That's why I kicked out.
I think it was mine.
Oh, maybe.
Yours? No. It was just irony.
Ripping more napkins apart.
Yeah. Whoa, don't drop on the floor. Uh-oh. The floor is a bad place for Marianne's things because I can't bend over to get it. And I only have one arm. Grab her. Where's my grabber?
She's going to one-arm us to death, ladies.
I don't want it to stick to my grabber. Oh, a few more weeks and I'll be able to bend over. My hip won't be the problem, so that will sure help a lot. Yeah, note to self: don't rehab 2 limbs, especially on opposite sides of the body, at the same time ever again. Oh, my rooster slid around. Okay. It's gonna dry. I wonder if the vellum will dry faster or slower than the regular paper. Yeah. What do you think, Candy?
I'd say slower.
Yeah, it's a little thicker.
It's not as porous, yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Hi, Lucy. Where you going? Where you going?
Let's see. How much did I get done today?
Hi, Lucy.
Oh, wow. Diana live on a bus. My studio is a bunk space, and it's full of medieval journal
yeah, I
making.
saw that.
How cool.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. I love eclectic, off the beaten path, weird places to live like that, where you turn it into a living space.
I got 15 made.
Wow, you did good.
And some of them were 12 by 12.
Nice.
Oh, I didn't do any 12 by 12. Mine were all 8.5 by 11. Okay, 3.
Yeah, I don't have any 12 by 12. One of the coolest
some of that
things.
scrap paper.
Oh, I love that butterfly one. Oh, that sunflower one's one of my favorites too.
Look at this one. Look what I did here.
Oh yeah,
used
that's the second layer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7, 8.
I got a good second layer of polka dots on that one
There's
too.
another second layer on this one.
Nice.
10.
And then there's the first layer.
Oh, cool. Take that ghost layer and then just build a tag on it, and it looks really cool.
And then the vellum. Then on the back side, the music comes through.
That's pretty.
14. 15, 16.
Okay, I'm gonna do this one.
17, 18.
Wow, Debbie holds too. One of the coolest places I ever thought. 20? Wow.
20.
One of the coolest places I ever thought to live would be buying an old church. You know, they just have cool little rooms here and there, usually like hidden rooms, and weird staircases, and I don't know, all the levels, and I don't know. I just always thought that would be a fun building to
warehouse.
To completely renovate. An old warehouse, yeah, definitely. An old school. Right.
When I worked downtown Seattle, sometimes I got to go up into the buildings that were above the street level
Oh,
shops.
above the shops. Oh, I
They were
love
like
those.
warehouses. Those were
Yes.
super cool.
Oh, I would love one of those. Yeah. Huge rooms, and like
Yep.
you can. There's so many rooms that you could take 2 or 3 and take the wall down and make it into one giant room, one giant, craft room or art room or studio or music room.
I should do that here. What do you think the resale value would be on my house if I took out all the walls?
I made it open floor plan on both levels.
Uh-huh. Not so good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I just need to wait till wherever I know I'm going to be for the rest of my life and then do whatever to it, because it doesn't matter. You don't have to think about reselling it. But those old buildings are so expensive. I just think it'd be so darn cool to have one of those and be able to renovate it. With staff. Oh, Margie wants to live in a castle with staff.
With staff.
Tabitha, what gas station should I rob for straws? Just go in and buy one drink, and you need 5 straws with the one drink. There you go. Yeah, I would get the bigger regular if you don't already have something in your stash. I would get the regular size straws with the bigger hole down the center. Especially if you've never made boho beads before. It'll be easier to work with, I think. But yeah, Diana, I'd love to see some pictures of the boho beads that you have made. And I'm really hoping you can be there on the 29th too, because you will be a wealth of information on that night for all of us. My husband says mess. I say eclectic art, ready inspiration. Yes. Yeah, Margie's right. You tell him. What do you know? You're not an artist. Because if you were, you would know that this is eclectic and ready-made inspiration, not a mess. Whoops. Just tearing that one already. It's all right. Then I won't have to wait and do it later. I think I'm probably going to put the rest of this glue into a jar. I think that's a great way to keep it, Candy. Put a lid on it and just open it up and use it anytime. To do a few more here and a few more there.
Yeah, it makes it easy to get.
Yeah. So, because you can do them until you run out of space.
You didn't set an alarm for today?
Oh, shoot. I thought it was on there. Oh, it's only on Mondays. Maybe I need to reset it. Well, Debbie was just our 5-minute warning. Our 5-minute wrap-up warning. So it is now just a few minutes to 4.
Happy birthday, Suze.
Happy birthday, Suze.
Yeah,
It's early.
birthday.
Nice. On the 29th.
On the 29th is her 6th.
So you better come make a boho bead for yourself. Bring a very pretty little scrap of fabric. Bring a whole bunch of them, guys, because the idea is that we're going to learn how to make them, but we're also then going to make a bunch so you've got them in your stash, because they don't have to be used just on boho journals. So, let's see. What is today? Today's Thursday. So this Saturday night is the making of the book journal, or the journal covers. And we're going to do, there'll probably be time to make multiples, but come prepared to make one paper and one fabric. And I will put in the description box, I'm going to go and create that event today. I'll put in the description box exactly what you'll need to have for both of them. And so you will want to know how to make those for upcoming event that will be announced on the 29th. And then Monday is Monday Jumpstart. And there we're going to do other things to do with napkins besides decoupaging them and making cute, teeny, tiny envelopes. And then next Thursday, a week from today, we'll take these very decoupaged envelopes book pages, music pages, and scrapbook paper if you want. The ugly stuff that you don't want to keep, that you don't want to use, and we'll make teeny tiny envelopes out of them. And then that Saturday is the 29th, and that will be the night we'll do boho beads, and that is the night of the big announcement. So that gets us all set up for the next week and a couple of days. Oh, cool. She sent me pictures of 2 of her favorite journals. Awesome. I'll take a look at that. And I really hope you're able to be there on that night. That would really be awesome. Let's see. Sylvia, napkin report, 16 pages, 8.5 by 10, 1 12 by 12 vellum, 20 8 by 5 garden book pages, black and white.
Wow.
Sketch on them, maybe some stencils. Nice, Sylvia. Okay.
Sylvia, can we show that one you did on vellum?
Oh yeah, Sylvia.
You never did answer.
She might have stepped away when you asked her before. Sylvia, can we show right before we end here? Can we show the one that you made on vellum? Sylvia. So, while we're waiting for Sylvia to answer, take a look at this. Here's boho that Diane made.
Oh my gosh. Oh, how gorgeous.
That is gorgeous. Oh, it's even more gorgeous up close. Look at that. I love that turquoise with the gold and the fuchsia. And look at that cool, dangle. Wow. That's very cool. We're going to have some fun. I'll send some bead pics, though. Not sure we'll make the live. Depends on the time. It's 9 a.m. Friday here now. So it'll be Saturday night at 6 my time, which is 4 hours later than this one started. So that means it would be Sunday.
Oh, she's screaming yes, she said.
She's screaming yes, and you just can't hear her, Candy. Will you please open up your ears and listen? Oh, wow. What color vellum is it on?
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Wow. Yeah, that is beautiful. I'm looking forward to these vellum ones to see how they work out. Guys, if you have ideas of things that you want to do on the Monday Jumpstart is primarily things that, okay, I have napkins. I know how to decoupage them and make teeny tiny envelopes, but what else can I do with them? Or I've got this media or mediums and I've never used them. I don't know what to do with them. Do you have watercolor paints and I don't know what to do with them? That's primarily Monday. So if you have things that you would like for us to do on Monday Jumpstart, please shoot me a message with those things because I'm adding them to the list. And then Thursday is mass makes. The mass makes are things that we can just grab and use in our journals. You can make them of all different styles and varieties, sometimes sizes. If you have things you want to mass make, I've got a huge list going, but if a bunch of people say they want to mass make a certain thing, then I'm going to bump that up higher because more people want to do it. We'll do it right away. And then Saturday night live, always something fun. So if you have, if there's anything that you want to get onto that list, shoot me a message this week, because at the end of at the end of next week, shoot me a message now or by next week. At the end of next week, I'm going to plan out a little farther. And so if you want to get something right away, let me know. Sorry, Candy. Bye, Toby. Dark yellow was what Sylvia put that on. That was really pretty. Bye,
Toby.
Diane's pictures. The first one is fabric with hand-painted lace. Ooh, hand-painted lace.
Wow.
I didn't even noticed that. Hang on a second. Wow. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at the lace along the bottom. Let me see if I can. I'm assuming, like, okay, there's some right across the center, and then this right across the bottom. Those are generally white. So those are hand painted. Those are gorgeous. Love that little book plate there too. Life is good. And then the second one is wet felted. Oh, I don't know what that is, wet felted, but I have some of that little felting stuff that I got from an estate sale, and I don't know what to do with it. Diane, maybe you can teach me to do something with that little felting stuff. I have all different kinds of colors. That is so very cool. Look at all those little tiny seed beads along the trim.
Yeah, that's like a extravaganza right there.
Yeah, a cuss extravaganza. I love it. I love it. Let's see. All right, Candy and Debbie, I just sent you a very disjointed private message. All right, everybody, thank you for joining us. Please put pictures of your stuff in the group because we love seeing it. And this is Thursday. We will see you Saturday night, ready to make some journal covers. Thanks for joining us. Have a great evening. It's been so much fun spending this time with you. We always enjoy hanging out with you. So we'll see
Yes.
you